And hey, my name is a different camera angle, I suppose. And hey, well, today's video is going to be a little bit different. So while I do tend to do what's in my tech bag videos, even though it's not really all that frequently anymore, I actually kind of decided to do somewhat of an update to that series of videos, but I wanted to do it with something a lot smaller. And that's actually when the folks over at Side by Side went ahead and teamed up with me so that we could go ahead and talk about how I can make the most out of the power packer that is right here, because this thing can carry a ton of stuff. I've actually got 2 cameras in here, microphone, and a bunch of other things that come in handy and that just fit in this tiny package I can take with me anywhere. Introducing the power packer by Side, and everything else that's in here so that you guys can know what my tech essentials are and hopefully maybe even inspire some of you to get some of these things if you're interested. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in. Before we continue, don't forget that I have a Twitch channel that you can go ahead and follow me on for live microphone reviews and much more than that. But you're also going to find my Instagram and a link to the Tech Summit Discord in the description. So come join the community because it is a pretty cool one. We've also opened up a Patreon as of late where if you join, you'll be automatically entered to win one tech gadget every month in our exclusive giveaways. Details to that are going to be down below. Don't forget to check out the description for everything. Now let's get right into the video. And of course, I would love to give a very special thanks to the folks over at Side by Side for sponsoring this video, because this is indeed going to be pretty cool. This is essentially what their pack is going to consist of. This is going to be the power packer. This thing is actually pretty small and it is pretty thin, but this thing can stretch out in many different ways if you needed to. I've actually got this filled out to the brim with certain things that I wanted to carry around, and I can fit this in just about any backpack that I want to, or just carry it around like this. Since the power packer also comes with a side-by-side carabiner right over here, it just makes it a lot easier to carry with you and to take around with you. It seems to have a lot of advantages to it that you wouldn't normally come across from like other types of bags like this, and this has been just a very reliable way of getting around all of my equipment, all of my travel equipment at the very least, because all of it just happens to fit in here. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and open this up because we've got 2 compartments in particular, at the very least 2 zippers, so we can go ahead and take a look at what's inside. Let's start off with the main compartments over here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and then just kind of walk you guys through everything that I carry with me. So I'm actually not overly complicated with what I carry, and one of the main things that I do carry with me are going to be this GoPro Hero 9 Black. This has been a very useful little camera that I've been using usually for some vlogs or some smaller projects on the side, and it's just really nice to have around because it has a front-facing screen as well, so you can use it to point it at yourself and you know exactly what you're looking at. Now, this can also film in 5K, which is super helpful. I mean, who could possibly say no to higher, stronger resolutions? And this is just a very cool one to carry around, and I just turned it on by accident, of course. However, this thing is pretty awesome, and I do keep it in this main compartment over here. And now I'm also going to keep a wind muff on this side, actually. So this is also called a dead cat, and this is actually for a shotgun microphone that I carry in here, so spoiler alert on that. And I'm not going to reveal exactly what brand it's from, and it's not who you think it's from, actually. Let me go ahead and, in fact, stop this recording. And so then over on this side, I am going to have a couple of batteries, and these are not really GoPro batteries. These are actually going to be batteries for the main camera that I tend to travel with. Again, I have 2 cameras in this entire kit, and they actually fit right over here. So these are 4 additional batteries by Batback, and they seem to work pretty well. They're not really quite as reliable as Sony's own batteries, but they do still last almost as long. However, these have been pretty reliable, so I can't really complain so much about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put them back over here. I actually have them in this side-by-side pouch that is right in this section, and this actually kind of operates as a book because if you flip the page, I am going to carry two different types of chargers on here with me, or at the very least cables, I should say. So one of them is going to be micro USB, since my camera does charge over micro USB, but the GoPro charges over USB-C. So I do carry both types of cables with me. I just one for each in case of anything, so that's going to be very important too. My main driver used to be a Google Pixel 4 as well, and that was a pretty big reason as to why I went ahead and decided that I needed to carry a USB-C cable. But as you can see on this side, in this compartment, you can fit so many things right over here. So it is just a very practical bag, or I should say carrying pouch, to take with you. However, that's not it, because there's a little pocket that's going to be right on the side, and over here I am going to have this dongle adapter that is made out of aluminum. I always forget what brand makes this exactly, but I am going to be leaving it linked down below in case of anything. I use this with my iPad Pro, but I can also use it with other devices as well, in case I need to plug in an SD card onto it, or maybe just something that operates over USB-A. It's got two USB-C ports on it, a headphone jack, and HDMI. It's just a very useful tool to have around. Now granted, sometimes I travel with this just as it is, but most of the time it does come with me in my bag, and this is just how I organize all of these things into one package. My iPad tends to be there, by the way, so this is why I tend to keep this around here as well. And now that is essentially going to be it for the first zipper. Now the second zipper is going to be simpler, but it is going to carry a lot of very important essentials, as a matter of fact. And we can just go ahead and flip this over, open this up, and then the first thing that we're going to come across is that thing that I spoiled earlier. So this is going to be the shotgun microphone of choice that I use with my setup, and this one's going to be from Movo. I believe that this is the VSM 10 Pro or something along the lines of that, but this is actually a very good microphone, and based off of my own testing, and by the way, it does come with this windscreen. Based off of my own testing, I do believe that it sounds better than the Rode Video Micro. But this microphone, it doesn't really get that much attention, and it kind of sucks that it doesn't get as much attention as it should, because it is genuinely a very good microphone, and it even has a headphone jack on the back. So honestly, you've got a lot to play around with, and that dead cat or wind muff that I had from earlier does go right onto this microphone, by the way. Came with it in the box, and yeah, well, what can I say? This is a great one. And it does even have a hot shoe mount, of course, so yeah. Now, you might be wondering, what camera could I possibly be carrying around with me that can actually fit in here, and that even has, like, the capabilities of using a shotgun microphone like that? And I actually use my Sony RX100 Mark VII. This point-and-shoot camera is amazing. I shoot in 4K, of course, and even though this does not have a built-in hot shoe mount or anything like that, there were a couple of things that I felt that this was actually lacking in. I did think that this camera was pretty slippery, so I went ahead and I bought a grip for it, but this grip also comes with a cold shoe mount adapter right on the side, so I can just go ahead and mount my microphone on the side like this. And the best thing, in my opinion, about this camera is that it is a very tiny form factor that does indeed support a microphone jack. So then I can just go ahead and plug this in to the side, and then I have a full-on vlogging setup for myself. And this camera also has a flip-up screen. Honestly, I could just go on and on and on about this camera because this camera is really amazing. It's expensive, but it is very amazing. And I do have a full review of this camera on the channel, so if you're interested, then do make sure to stop by in the description, because that is going to be linked right over there. And yeah, well, that is essentially everything that I carry with me on a day-to-day basis when I go out. This is so far the smallest package that I have prepared, and honestly, I am insanely happy with it. I think that this is a fantastic package, and yeah, if you are interested in the side-by-side package over here, or any of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, then do make sure to check out the description, because I am going to have affiliate links to all of those so that you can go ahead and grab those for yourself. Now, with that said, I would like to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, which are going to be, first of all, the tier 3s, Joe Moss, Omar, and Saad Awazal. Seriously, thank you so much for all of your support because it really does go a long way. Now, onto the tier 2s coming right up. And this is super important. I would just like to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, which are going to be listed right here on the screen. Again, a massive thanks to you all for supporting us to help us create the kind of content that we bring to you on a day-to-day basis. And thank you so much for supporting the Tech Summit podcast as well. And just remember that if you would like to be a part of this community too, and then do make sure to check out the links to our Patreon, where you don't only get bonus episodes of our podcast, but you also get automatically entered into one of our monthly giveaways of a tech product that we have reviewed that is of at least $50 in value or higher. So links to that down below. And don't forget to follow me on the rest of my social media, such as my Instagram and my Twitch, where I do tend to stream fairly often. So you can definitely find me over there. Now, with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.